Right, I'm just at the Foundry now, ready for Failed Night, and I'm doorstepping people coming into the event just to find out where they've come from, how many days they're staying, and what they're looking forward to when it comes to the Creator Day, Creator Week events, because these kind of events are so important for the local area, bringing people, visitors, and for the visitor economy.
I'm Rosie Sherry. I'm coming from Brighton. I'll be here for 2 nights, and I'm most looking forward to talking about community and learning about community.
Right, Matt, I'm going to grab you unawares, but how does it feel like to do it again, your annual pilgrimage?
Yeah, good. Really excited for it. It's going to be lots of fun stories and good vibes for everyone to get to know each other.
So what have you been doing the last year? We haven't seen you for a while.
A bit too much. I think we need to sit down for about a month to talk through that. But yeah, it's all going really well. Taking it all as it comes. Writing a third book as well.
Third book? What?
Yeah.
Where were the first two?
Where were the first two? It's all kind of mashed into one, but written as 3 separate books. So, as and when they come out is a whole another story.
Excellent, so. Well done.
Cool, and how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Good. I'm doing the interview, and I'm doing the interview. You should get yourself back on the job now.
I'm Susanna Reay, and I've travelled down to Creator Day from South Oxfordshire, so about 2.25 hours drive.
How many days are you staying?
I am staying from the Wednesday through to the Friday lunchtime.
Does that mean you're doing the sea swim?
No.
Okay, let's move on.
No, I'm not. What I always do is, because it's my 3rd time here at Creator Day, is I wait and see how exhausted I am from the Thursday night, because that can be quite a lot. But this year I might get down for a walk along the beach, but I'm not a huge sea swimmer.
And you've got a surprise for us as well, haven't you?
I have. It's like I'm speaking now at Failed Nights, and I've just published my book, Framework Thinking, and it's a #1 bestseller in the marketing category on Amazon as I'm speaking. So I'm like, so look up Framework Thinking by Susanna Reay, and you'll get all the details. And it's for service-based business owners in the business of transformation. So if that's you, this is what you need.
Thanks, Susanna. Chandy, you're a long-term supporter of the Yoda Media events. What are you looking forward to this year, and what have you been working on yourself as well?
I think I'm just looking forward to connecting with people I haven't seen for a while. I think it's always nice to get to know people again and see what they're up to, and help everyone in that community spirit to get to one goal, but also their own work that they're working on.
I've been watching your TikTok videos or your Instagram reels. How freeing has that been, dancing around town?
I think it's quite fun, and seeing people's reaction. You always get people that stare in, but there's always some people who want to join in, or can be in one as well. And then you mention the word dancing, and they kind of a bit more hesitant.
How does it make you feel? Did you have to overcome those initial nerves, or did you just dive straight in?
I think I'm still nervous doing it now. I have to keep pushing myself a little bit, but I think it's just helped me with my confidence, which I think is important.
Excellent.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. Anyway, I've got your attention now. Matt just wanted me to give attention. I could have done other things to get attention, but there you go.
2 minutes.
Me to hold it? Yes, please. So, as you can see, I colour coordinate with my book. So, Framework Thinking is designed for service-based professionals, coaches, consultants, leaders in corporates, and it hit #1 in marketing as the bestseller yesterday. And I'm very giddy about that fact, and a lot of that is thanks to you all. And I also want to shout out to Liam Toms, who called me out today on LinkedIn, who went last year at Creator Day on the Work With Us Together, which is 3 p.m. after all the talks for those of you who are new. We all made a little pledge. What's going to happen in the next year? I said I was going to publish my book.
Thank you. Okay, so so the person you will be in 5 years depends entirely on who you surround yourself with and what you read. So this was taken from a book that I read in 2023, and it's kind of why I'm here now, surrounded by those people that I want to be like in 5 years. So I've got 2 years to go. So we're going to start here at school. Yeah, that building, top right-hand corner, that was my school. It looks really fancy, and it was lovely. It was a mansion that Bracknell Council had going spare in the 70s, so they decided that they would make it a comprehensive school. I wasn't there in the 70s, but that's when it was set up. So the grass at the front, that was the sixth form kind of space. We could go in there and chill out at lunchtimes. There's my 2 friends at the bottom, part of my community then, and very much so still now, so Vicky and Clive. I really loved school. I loved the social element, I loved learning. And yeah, really sort of had my foundations of community at that point. So a couple of things that went wrong though. So the first, Shakespeare, as mentioned in the start. So English literature, GCSE, I was in a class mainly of boys, and the teacher came in one day and said it's time to do Shakespeare. The boys all booed. So she then said, okay, we won't do Shakespeare, so they all cheered, but she stuck to that and didn't cover Shakespeare. So we got to the GCSE exam and I couldn't answer one of the papers because we hadn't done any Shakespeare. So I ended up with a D for English literature GCSE, which meant I couldn't do the A-level that I wanted to do. School in the 80s, 90s, great. so that was Shakespeare. It gave me a bit of a complex, I have to say, and I only really read Shakespeare when I was 50, and I'll come on to that later. The other thing was weather, so similar story, geography A-level, which I didn't really want to do. I wanted to do English, French and German, but ended up doing geography. Second year, we were about to start revising. The teachers realised that they hadn't covered weather, but they figured it's fine, it came up the last 3 years, that won't come up. Guess what? That came up. So again, could not answer a whole paper in geography because it was about weather, which I hadn't covered. So I got an N, which, if you don't know, N is nearly. So you nearly passed, you nearly got an E. Great, thanks. So economics was the other subject. Again, really didn't want to do that, but it was the only thing that fit into the timetable. My teacher told me from a very early stage that I wasn't going to pass. That may have been some sort of reverse psychology, but I just thought, okay, no point in worrying then, I won't. So the reports that you see at the bottom, they were the kind of could do better, but no actual advice on how to do better. So I thought, okay, I failed here, what am I going to do? I really wanted to work for the BBC, that was my dream. I'm going to be a host of some sort of TV show. So what's the best way in? Okay, I'm going to be a secretary. So I went to evening school whilst I was doing my A-levels during the day. I did typing, I did shorthand. I got a job at the BBC. So it was amazing. I was going to be in the typing pool. And if you don't know what that was, it's basically a massive room of about 100 women typing all day. But, you know, a year or so, that'd be fine, I'll be on the telly, so that's cool. I got made redundant before I even started. The typing pool closed down, they redeployed all of the typists to different functions, so that was that dream over. So I got a job at Prudential, which was the next town along. Thing for me to do for this, to kind of notice some of those failures. And what I noticed was that most of the failures were personal stuff, but every time there was a failure, there was like an opposite effect of doing something to challenge myself. So we had to go through IVF, which was quite stressful, and I decided that wasn't stressful enough, I'll start doing a degree. So I studied for a degree whilst going through IVF. I had that kind of inadequacy feeling, I think, from school, so I wanted to do that. It's never too late, like Kylie says. Don't necessarily think you have to stay somewhere, you can walk away, it's fine. And I can't remember my other 2 lessons. I don't know what I've done there. Ask for counsel, not advice. I think that's a really good lesson. So kind of, particularly when you're writing books, everyone's got an opinion, but actually you need to ask the right people for that advice, because otherwise you just get completely inundated. So thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Lenka Kopova. I'm a dream life coach, dream life mentor, and I came here all the way from Czech Republic through Italy and France, and I travel in a van with my cat, so it's a bit of an unusual journey, but it also allows me to stay for longer. So I'm planning to spend about a week in specifically Poole and Bournemouth area and explore more of the neighboring areas. And I've known Mark for a while, and I've known of this event for a while, but I've never had a chance to actually come to this event. So I'm so glad I finally made it. I know people from this community, and I know a lot about this vibe. And being here for about a day, I already love it. I already feel like I'm part of the family.
You just sound like a right pompous. Good evening. Most of you will probably know me as an accountant, but today I'm going to speak to you as a recovering founder. So, typically as an accountant, I'm normally the one called in to dissect someone's business failures and point out where they've gone wrong. But for your pleasure this evening, the shoe is firmly on the other foot, and I'm going to explain how I managed to take 2 decades of technical knowledge and expertise and make a mess so big that everyone's accountants in this room would probably cry. So this is way back in 2012, so before AI. I think for a bit of context, we were probably on about the iPhone 5 at this point. So this when Zero had kind of launched in the UK, and it was starting to become a big thing, and all we kept hearing all the time was real-time accounting, and I decided that was just a load of rubbish and a marketing myth. So I had a client who was a software developer, and we spent a day sitting in an office down in Bournemouth, and we came up with a product called Smart Cash Flow. We thought this will be the thing that's really going to help people get access to that information and do something useful with it. Unfortunately, what we found when we started looking at people's data is it was complete and utter rubbish. And we thought you can't really forecast the future based on a load of historical crap. So we thought we may as well pivot. As we know the data inside the systems are rubbish, that's what we're actually going to concentrate on. We're going to build a tool that's going to find that information and help people correct it and have good information going forwards. So Lee, unbeknown at the time, I went away and came up with 55 alerts. I became obsessed by the idea that every piece of information that went into someone's bookkeeping software was pristine, and if it wasn't, you'd know about it and you'd be able to correct it and do something about it. So we spent almost 2 years. Lee's software company had gone from 0 employees to 15 at this time. So he kept being bombarded and pestered by me to go faster. And of course, Lee was just thinking, where's the return on investment for me here? Because I've got a successful software company and this guy just keeps badgering me all the time to build more and build more. Because at this time, we didn't even know if there was a market. We were just working purely off my presumption that everybody on the planet wanted to do things in the same way. So we came to a bit of an impasse. Lee was fed up, and I was getting bored.
Sorry, just put your microphone closer to your yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Lee got bored, he felt the pressure, so we decided to put our money where our mouth was, and we actually launched at ZeroCon in 2015. What we actually found is we were so early to market at that point that whilst it was well received, most people had 1 or 2 clients on cloud computing. It wasn't really much of a thing at that time, and to get the benefit from the product, you really needed to have all of your clients on there. So Lee exited quickly at that point because he knew there was no way he was ever going to get any money back for the time that he'd invested, so we decided to mothball it and go our separate ways. Now, while I was at ZeroCon 2015, I got the ear of a fellow accountant from Australia who had sold his accountancy practice and built a piece of account tech and was also at ZeroCon. Now, this fellow's called Guy Pearson. The product was called Practice Ignition. He's since gone on to raise over £100 million and is a serial investor in other people's businesses. So he's got a bit of game. He knew what he was talking about. And the one piece of advice that Guy gave me, which is the best piece of advice I've ever ignored, which was pick one thing and do it well. He'd sold his practice and gone all in on the software. Unbeknown to Guy, I suffer from something called superhero syndrome. So whilst Guy was explaining his story, all I was thinking was, that's fine for you, Guy, but I'm a superhero. I can
My name is Gus. I've come all the way from Coventry, which is not as far as some people, but it took me a few hours to get here. I am really looking forward to the You Are the Media Creator Day. I'm here for only one night and I'm leaving, well, not straight after Creator Day. We've got Creator Day, then we've got the party afterwards, and then I'm driving back home because, quite frankly, I have to do the school run on Friday.
So you were a speaker at Field Night.
So I spoke at the very first Fail Night.
So how was your journey through, turning up, being at the Creator Day, and then finally making it and doing the speaking? Because you're speaking this year as well.
I'm speaking this year. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I loved Failed Nights and they said you've got 10 minutes to talk about all your failures. And to be honest, I could have talked for hours. But I loved it. It was really nice for Mark to ask me to help out with Failed Nights. And then 3-4 years later, I'm now on the Creator Day stage, and I absolutely can't wait.
Excellent. Your brand colour is orange, so what's the most orange thing you've got in your wardrobe?
The most orange, I think everything in my wardrobe is orange. And you know what? It saves the brain power. I've got orange t-shirts, orange trousers, orange trainers, socks, everything, bandanas, all the rest of it. Yeah. So
Have you got
orange.
got an orange car yet?
I haven't got an orange car. My wife won't let me have an orange car. But only because we live on a main road, and she said people will just keep knocking on our door and asking for autographs.
Thanks, Chris. Lovely to see you again. Thank you.
Judith Rafferty, who's come all the way from Manchester. Judith is a copywriter and content strategist, specialising in the hospitality and event sectors. But her client base spans from everything from HR to Hatton Garden Diamonds. Don't suppose you brought any with you? No? Okay. So according to Girls in Marketing, try not to fall over, Matt, Judith is the top 26th marketer to follow in 2026. And she will share stories of when the sky goes out, Jedi wisdom, and channeling your inner phoenix. If we can please get a round of applause for Judith.
Mark, I'm Foghorn Leghorn, I don't need a bleeding microphone. Okay, so I am going to use my notes because I'm not a professional speaker and I'm not pretending to be. See, I'm causing feedback already. So notes is just the way I roll, so please bear with me. And we've had 2 absolutely incredible speakers before me. So I know you want to drink wine and beer and network, but just hang fire with me for the next 10 minutes. So it was my first Creator Day last year after seeing all the rah-rah on LinkedIn, and thanks to the fabulous Ella Orr, I got myself on board, and I've not looked back since joining the You Are the Media community. So I felt it was especially apt to step up for Fail Nights this year, given the community theme, because communities have been an anchor for me in ways I'd never anticipated. And tonight I'm going to share why. By that point, I'd been self-employed for years, and Mark was a manager on the Aldi account at McCann's, one of the biggest advertising agencies in the world, with its UK HQ nearby us in leafy Cheshire. And I have to say, the amount of times during lockdown that I couldn't get into our kitchen to make a coffee because he was on Zoom calls about the Christmas ads was literally inadmissible. But on this particular day, he came home from work complaining of feeling really rough, saying he was struggling to walk in a straight line, and he was going straight to bed. And I naturally laughed it off as a bit of man flu, as you do. By week 2, he struggled to get out of bed unassisted. He could only walk with a stick, and he was losing continence. By week 3, after an MRI scan, we were told they'd found a mass they feared was a malignant brain tumour. By week 5, the term glioblastoma entered our lives after a biopsy, and we were given a 6 to 12 month prognosis. By week 6, literally a week later, we were told that chemotherapy or radiotherapy weren't options due to the tumour's aggression. The prognosis was amended to 2 months on palliative care with a DNR note. Week 11, 3 hospitals and a care home to the day of his first symptoms. That glioblastoma systematically deleted him and snuffed out his life. Completely disabled, incontinent, unable to swallow, eat, speak or see. And for me, the one left behind, the sky went out. That was my Bowie tribute to him, by the way, the funeral. And these were the little trinkets that I have made with some of these flowers for our nearest and dearest. He was of that generation who saw Star Wars when it came out at the cinema upon release, and he insisted on watching it far too regularly for my liking. So if anybody needed to channel some Jedi wisdom after the funeral, it was me, because I didn't know it at the time, but I was suffering from PTSD and denial. I didn't cry until about 8 weeks after he'd gone, because I'd just been reacting day by day to the absolutely shit blizzard that was battering us. And then I'd gone straight into event organiser mode for the funeral. The reality could be debilitating when it started to seep through. Crawling from the wreckage, covered in dust and debris, mangled and broken, staggering to my feet, peering around in abject horror, haunted, wondering what the hell to do with this new life I hadn't expected and didn't want. That I was with Mark before traumatic bereavement, so I started getting back out to those networking events again. I started showing face in communities again, and I started saying yes to invitations again. And honestly, people have got your back if you let them. Oh yeah, there you go. Perfect.
Bloody hell, everyone, shall we? I'll take over now, right? I just want to say, what a lovely day we've had today. And bless you, thank you so much to Penny and Joe for Cowork Crew this afternoon. That was amazing what you've done. What we're trying to do, everyone, is then you and the media friends in Bristol and London went out for pizza and a little glass of Prosecco. The town is now opening up to everybody. Right, and... Oh. Right.
I just want to say as well, thank you to Emma and the team from Foundry. They've been so supportive. Bloody take that, Carly! Right, all that stuff. Right, let's round this up now. So, right, 8:20. So we said we'd be finished, half past 8 a minute, and then we can all crack on. Let me just tee things up for tomorrow. Let me tee up everything first. So my role, I've said this to a few people, that I am treating this like a stag or a hen do. We are all many people are having a shit, rubbish time at the moment. And it is my responsibility to make sure every single one of you has such a good time by being in Poole. And it's my role to make sure, that's what I mean, the stag and hen, what's the lead hen lady called? Right. No, the lady that does the hen do. The maid of honour. So imagine being, right, so I am the maid of honour that is saying this, right? Tomorrow morning, I've said it, you turn up with a smile on your face. You haven't got to worry about anything. All I'm asking is a smile on your face and a willingness to join in. The theatre opens at 9 a.m. and then we're going to start at 9:30. When I say a stag or hen do, we're going to have a tough time. We're going to be up and down throughout the day, but I'm going to hold on. We're going to start this together and we're going to end this together. We start in the morning. Sophie from Freelancer magazine has been practicing her DJing skills since this was all announced in 2025. Is she gone? She's gone practicing DJing. So let me just kind of round this up. We start tomorrow. We have an after party. What's the place called we're going? Da Vinci's at 6 p.m. Have your teas all sorted. Teas, drinking, fun. The hardcore people are going to go in the sea on Friday morning at 7:30 a.m. If you want lifts, we're going to help one another out. We'll sort that out tomorrow. Mel, Dave, and Leah are going to have a live podcast at 11:15 on Friday. That's going to be downstairs. But listen, if you've booked, you're in. If you'd still say, I want to go, I mean, lots of DMs, we're going to find a space. And then everyone is going to be tired. No, they're not. The whole point, I don't like people leaving events where exhaustion is worn as a badge. I want us to leave on Friday, or if you're going tomorrow, with a smile on your face and you felt topped up, because saying goodbye to your partners, your family, your kids, and shutting your worktops for a couple of days, it means the world. Which is why I want you to have such a good time. I'm going to look after you. Everyone else in the community is going to look after one another. And we're going to do this together. Am I right? Yeah. Right, have a good evening. It's 3:30. Oh no. Oh, right, one last thing. Jesus, the amount of photos. Like Jon Jenkins saying, Jesus, I'm just sitting here having a bloody drink. I'm seeing them lot kind of having photos and videos.